Good morning, children. Happy to meet you all through this video lesson again. And it's been a long time I have met you through this video lesson. Hope everyone are doing good. So today we'll start with the second lesson in biology. Everyone ready? Yes, we will get into the lesson and let's see what is the topic all about. Yes, the second lesson is all about nutrition in animals. So the first lesson we did a detailed study about nutrition in plants, and now let's see about nutrition in animals. It's very interesting, right? So in this lesson we will just concentrate on two major things, like we will focus on human digestive system, okay, and also about ruminant digestive system. We will understand what is this ruminants all about and why do we say like that. Okay, we'll get into the lesson and we will learn in detail about it. So in this lesson there are things to learn. Let's see what it is and we'll have a better idea so what we are learning about. Okay, stages of nutrition. Okay, there are different stages of nutrition, okay, in human beings as well as in animals. It cannot happen all of a sudden, so that particular thing which we follow is called as like holozoic nutrition is happening in human beings and in certain animals. All right, we will check about it here, and we need to understand what is digestion all about. Why do we say it as a digestive system? Next we will learn about different ways of taking food. So all the human beings and animals have their different pattern of taking food. Okay, so we will discuss about it. Then digestion in human beings. So once after the food is taken in, what happens exactly inside the body? So that particular part we will discuss here in detail. Digestion in grass eating animals. So now you might have got an idea about what the ruminants are. Okay, so next we will just get into the picture of why they are called as ruminants, these grass eating animals. Then we will learn about feeding and digestion in amoeba. Have you heard about this term amoeba? Definitely you would have heard it. We have learned about like unicellular organisms, right? So we will learn three different processes here in human beings, in grass-eating animals, as well as in unicellular animal, how the digestion is happening. All right. So here we will just learn about the stages of nutrition first. So in that we will discuss in detail about like holozoic mode of nutrition. So we need to just have a recap of what the nutrition is all about, right? So the mode of taking in the food substances in body for its utilization process is called as nutrition. Okay, so we can just have a short recap on that. As well as we did learn about like autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition, where plants take in the food substances in the places where they are. They're autotrophic. And heterotrophic is something where they have to depend on the other organisms. So here definitely we fall under like heterotrophic mode of nutrition. All right, under that it is a specific zone where we're going to discuss about the process, how this nutrition is happening inside the body. So it comes under like holozoic mode of nutrition. All right, so here there are my five major steps. One is like ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and addition. These are the five major steps we're going to discuss in this lesson in detail. Okay, so this mode of digestion process is happening in human beings as well as in certain animals also. All right, so first, by the term itself you can understand ingestion. It's something, the mode of taking the food in. Yes, so all the organism doesn't take as how we take. Yes, through the mouth. Yes, with the help of the hands we are just putting the food inside the mouth, and then it gets into the process of digestion. Yes, the primary digestion happens inside the mouth. But what if happens for the other animals? They doesn't have any specific arms. Yes, like a microorganism or small organisms, for example, like snail, they doesn't have a specific arm to pick the food and eat. So the ingestion, the mode of taking in the food, has several steps in different organisms. All right. So here, this is a human digestive system. We're gonna learn about this in detail here. All right. So when you consider about like ingestion, what is the first thing happens in human beings? The food stuff gets inside the mouth. Okay. So as soon as getting inside the mouth, does it get inside the throat? No. We are doing some kind of process inside the mouth. Yes, that is the reason we are able to taste it and we are able to analyze how the food are. Yes, and then we are just getting addicted to the food that has a very good taste as well. So there are many particular organs that are involved in this particular ingestion process. Shall we see about it here? Here, as a part of introduction, let us see about the different ways of taking food of different animals. Here, just look at this picture. This is like hummingbird, okay, and this is like honeybee. So there is some similar feature seen over here. Is like they will just try to suck the nectar, okay. So sucking is a process over here, and even in like human beings, when the baby is small, okay, they will feed on the mother's milk. And there is an animal like python here, it just swallows it, okay. And even in other animals which we will discuss in later part of the lesson, they will swallow it and then they will try to chew it again. So those things are called as like ruminants. So here discussing about this python, see there, it just swallows the animal, an alligator, and then it will be alive for like for several days, only then it will get digested. So this is how they will just suck, swallow, some will masticate, and there are different ways of taking the food. Okay, and here we will just discuss about how it happens in human beings. So here let us see about the first process and the place where the ingestion takes place. Okay, so here we'll have to check on the arrangement of different types of teeth in human beings. So look at this picture. What do you understand from this picture? So here this is just a wide open mouth of human being. Yes. So here we can just see the outer one, which is the lips, which covers the entire internal parts. Okay, and this pink region where the teeth is attached is called as gums. Okay, or gingiva. We call them as gums in general for easy understanding. And then here what happens, there is a there are the teeth which is arranged on the gums, on that pink region. Okay, and then there is a tongue protruding out from inside. Yes, tongue. You can just, as I say, you can just try to touch and feel the parts, whatever I'm saying. Just wash your hands and you can try doing it. Okay, and then here there are different types of teeth. Can you see the teeth? You can just touch your teeth and see all the teeth doesn't have are not in the same shape. Yes, they're arranged in a pattern, but they are in different shapes because they have different functions to do inside the mouth. Yes, so whenever you bite anything, initially you will not take any cookies or chicken, whatever it is, inside, and you will just bite it. Initially we will just try to bite the food particles in the front. Mostly it happens. Yes. So here let us see the functions why these teeth are arranged in this particular manner. So there are four different types of teeth in human body, where the this last pattern of teeth is called as molars, and then followed by this particular pattern like two in numbers, which is called as premolars. Okay, you see how the molar is looking like and how the premolar is looking like. Yes, the root differs. And here canine, it has a sharp edge, everyone can touch and feel it. Yes, it will be two in upper jaw and two in the lower jaw. And then the flat structure which is present in the front, in the lower and the upper one, yes, that is called as incisor. So each different teeth has its specific function, we will learn about it here. Okay, so this is how the teeth is arranged. So whenever what happens, whenever we take any food inside, we just bite. Okay, we make the complex food molecules into simpler substances by chewing it for a longer time. Yes, while chewing it, what happens, where what is the role of the tongue over there? Yes, the tongue helps in moving the food particles, okay, inside the mouth. Also there is another one which is involved in the digestion process, which is called as saliva. Yes, so when you take any food item, even though it is a powdered particle, once enters the mouth, what happens? The saliva is secreted and it gets mixed with the food particle. Yes, and then only we are just swallowing the food. All of a sudden, we cannot swallow any of the food because it has to be chewed up. Yes, and it has to be mixed well in the saliva with the saliva, and then it has to be swallowed inside. Yes, so these many roles and many functions are happening inside the mouth. That is the first process of digestion, which is called as ingestion. All right. Here we will just look on the same content. along with the numbers and the cavities. Okay, so the numbers here, it's gonna be like in two different types, like temporary teeth and permanent teeth. Temporary teeth is also called as the milk teeth that arises when we are a baby. Yes, after a few months the teeth will arise, and that particular teeth will fall off at one particular stage at the age of like 6 to 8. You should have remembered it. Yes, all the teeth whatever you have having right now, it's a permanent teeth. And here the total number of teeth generally we say it is like 32 in numbers. Yes, but all the 32 teeth will not form all of immediately. Okay, so there is a particular stage of time where all the teeth will form, and then we will have like 32. And some may not have like 32 all the time, because the last part of the teeth, which is called as like the wisdom teeth, some for some it may not arise. Okay, so here like incisors, it is like 18 numbers considering both the upper and the lower jaw. Canines, it is 4 in numbers. Premolars, it is 8 in numbers. And molars is 12 in numbers. Okay, and the temporary teeth are the three other temporary teeth over here. And next here we will just look about like the type of tooth and the functions. So first, considering about the incisor, as I told you, to bite any food that we eat in, it helps in that particular process. Bite or slice a food into two. Okay, yes. For example, if you're gonna have a cookies in your hand, what happens if you just take that particular cookie and bite it? What happens? One part will get inside your mouth, and the other part will be there in your hand. Two slices. Yes, it slices the foot. And then canine, so it helps to tear the foot for anything that is a little bit hard. What we will do in the front teeth, we cannot do it. For example, it's going to be like a sugar cane or any meat. Yes, we will have to use, we will not keep in the front, and we will just bite it. We will just keep it in the sides like chicken piece with a leg piece. Okay, just imagine. Okay, you will just tear it and then take the flesh out of that particular pieces. Yes, so then premolar, it just grinds the food, and molar also grinds the food further so that it is in the form of pulp, and that is easy for us to swallow. So only, do you think only the teeth helps in the mastication process? Yes, well, for biting and chewing everything, the teeth is helping. But here there is a very important organ inside the mouth, which is called as the tongue. Okay, so these tongue has the taste buds, which helps to understand what the taste are, as well as there are salivary glands inside our mouth. So the saliva secretion helps in producing the saliva, the liquid part, and it get mixed with the foodstuff whatever we are chewing inside, and then it forms as a bolus. Okay, only after it forms as a bolus we will just swallow in, and then it will be taken into the next part of the digestive tract. All right, so this is how it is very helpful. So it is not only the teeth helps here, it's the tongue as well as the salivary gland, and there are many parts inside the mouth that is helping us to chew and masticate the food properly. And here, just coming on back to this picture, here you can see there is some kind of a cavity, a decay, a tooth decay is seen here. Yes, why it is happening? Because whenever the food that we are taking, if it is going to be staying on that particular teeth or tooth, what happens, different types of bacteria will emerge, and those bacteria will secrete different types of acids on the teeth, and if it is gonna get stagnated for a very longer time, this cavity is formed, and it will just deep root inside the teeth, and that is the reason we have the big cavity. And at one point of time, what they will do, they will do some kind of treatment, okay, like root canal treatment, and they will fix it up. Else if it doesn't work, they will have to remove extract the teeth completely. So this is the reason we have to keep our teeth very clean, so that we can just safeguard from all these cavities and other germs. All right, because it will be very sensitive, then we cannot eat any of the sweets or any cold like cool drinks or whatever it is. So even for the water also, it will be very sensitive at times. So it is very important for us to take care of the teeth. Okay, here in short, I just want to discuss about the tongue, regions of the tongue for different tastes. So you might have learned about this particular regions right from your childhood, yes, in your lower classes. So let us have a short recap on this, okay? So in the tongue, it is believed that the different parts of the tongue have different taste, okay? But totally, whenever we eat, we cannot just analyze by keeping the food in particular part and recognizing, oh, it's sweet, oh, it's salty. No, whenever generally we put in the food inside, we are able to recognize the taste of the food. So here it is believed that this particular regions, um, like this, bitter here in the inner part, and here these two regions to recognize the sour food particle, the salty food particle here. See, it is also like overlapped over here, like sweet, salty. So in mostly like edges it is shown. So here we have all the taste buds which will just grab the taste and it will take it to the sensory organs to analyze whether it's bitter or it's sweet or salt or tasty. Yes, so this is how the tongue helps in analyzing the taste. All right, and here I have just attached a video. All right, and this video I have created it. Okay, that video will show you about everything about like human digestive system. Okay, and I have already posted in YouTube for this, and now I have just posted only the video content followed by this. Just try watching it everything. Okay, and then I will just continue with the lesson as well. So any doubts, definitely you can just ping me through. All right. Human digestive system. Let us learn about the digestion process in human beings. To know more about digestive system, we need to know what is digestion all about. What is digestion? Digestion is a process of breakdown of complex food molecules into simpler substance. Human beings follow the Holozoic mode of nutrition. It involves 5 major steps. They are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Human digestive tract consists of following organs. They are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, appendix, rectum, and anus. Now you may ask, what about the other organs given in the picture, like teeth, tongue, epiglottis, salivary gland, pharynx, gallbladder, liver, and pancreas. These are accessory digestive organs which help in the process of digestion. The digestive tract starts from the mouth and ends with anus. This tract is also called as alimentary canal or gastrointestinal tract. Now, starting with buccal cavity, it has 3 major parts: salivary glands, tongue, and teeth for mastication process. The food we take in is well masticated with the help of teeth and tongue. It gets mixed up with saliva and forms bolus. Then it is ready to travel into the next digestive tract, which is called as esophagus. On getting into the tract of esophagus, there lies epiglottis. It is a flappy layer of skin which just closes the respiratory tract by giving space for the food to travel into esophageal tract. The esophagus is 30 cm long muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. The food is pushed down towards the stomach by a rhythmic muscular movement called peristaltic movement. The lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. These peristaltic movements occur all along the gut. Once the food reaches the stomach, it gets into the next phase of digestion. Stomach. This picture shows the general stomach anatomy. Stomach is a muscular organ. It is the widest part of alimentary canal, and it has 2 openings guided by valves. Stomach receives the partly digested food from esophagus. The upper region of the stomach is called fundus. As it receives the food particle from the esophagus, it gets expanded. It also increases the space for the food to be received. The wall of the stomach contains tubular glands that secretes gastric juice like hydrochloric acid, mucus, pepsin, gastric lipase, and renin. Mucus protects the inner lining of stomach from the corroding action of hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid kills the microorganism and provides an acidic medium for effective digestion. And the other gastric juices, which contains enzymes that breaks down proteins into simpler substances. The semi-digested food, which is called chyme, leaves the stomach and enters the small intestine. Small intestine. It is a coiled tube about 7 meters long and forms longest part of digestive system. Small intestine is divided into three major regions: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Now you may have a question, what does liver and pancreas do in digestion process? The liver secretes bile, which is stored in gallbladder, helps in breakdown of larger molecules of fat into smaller droplets. Pancreas, which is located below the stomach, secretes pancreatic juice, which breaks down the starch, proteins, and fats into simpler forms. The small intestine also produces digestive juices, which helps to complete the process of digestion by forming the simpler form of food molecules like sugar, amino acids, and glycerol. The inner lining of small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which increase the surface area for absorption. Villi are richly supplied with blood vessels. There are millions of villi present in small intestine, which helps in absorption of food particles through the blood vessel called capillaries. It is surrounded by the capillaries. These capillaries helps in absorbing the food particles and takes them to the artery, where it is carried to the different parts of the body parts. The unabsorbed food is sent to the large intestine. Large intestine. It is the last organ of digestive system. It is about 1.5 meters in length. It is divided into 6 major regions, starting with cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, and rectum. Undigested food enters large intestine, where water and salts are reabsorbed to be utilized by the body parts. The semi-solid food that is left behind is then stored as fecus in the rectum. Finally, it reaches the anus, where the food is eliminated as fecal matter, which is called as egestion. Hope everyone would have understood how the human digestive system works. Yes, it is an elaborative video I have did. And here I have just attached another short video, okay, in order for you to understand how the discovery of the working of stomach has been identified by Dr. William Beaumont. Okay, when he saw the patient Alexis St. Martin, who was admitted with a gunshot, okay, just below the wrist,
Hello
where the
and
stomach is
welcome
located,
to
he
History
left it
Pod.
open. Okay, and you can
On the
just
6th
identify
of
how it was
June
been
1822,
discovered by
Alexis
William Beaumont in this short
Saint-Martin, who
video.
had been shot
Okay,
in the
just go
stomach,
on with it.
was first treated by US Army surgeon William Beaumont, who became known as the father of gastric physiology. Saint-Martin was a French-Canadian voyageur who was employed by the American Fur Company to transport furs in large cargo canoes. While visiting the company's store on Mackinac Island in Michigan, he was accidentally shot at close range with a shotgun that had been loaded with lead pellets for hunting ducks. The surgeon from the local US Army fort was called to treat the injured man, whom it was assumed would die of the horrific effects of the gunshot. A large cavity had been opened in his side, his ribs were fractured, and there was a hole in his stomach. However, despite the dire diagnosis, Saint-Martin slowly recovered. The one key reminder of the accident was that the hole in his stomach had attached itself to the hole in his body, leaving a direct route into his stomach from the outside world. Known as a permanent gastric fistula, the direct access to Saint-Martin's stomach led Dr. Beaumont to contract the illiterate voyageur as his servant and medical test subject. Beaumont's experiments, which often involved the observation of pieces of food that had been tied to string and inserted directly into his subject's stomach through the hole, led to enormous advances in the scientific understanding of digestion. Beaumont's decision to keep the hole open, rather than to perform surgery to close it, raised very few ethical questions at the time. The doctor actually gained enormous prestige from his research, which he published in his book Experiments and Observations on the Gastric Juice and the Physiology of Digestion. His subject, Saint-Martin, later returned to Canada, where he died naturally in 1880.
In detail, we have discussed about the human digestive system and how it has been identified. Yes, hopefully you should have understood everything. And here let us get on to the next topic, which is like digestion in grass-eating animals. Okay, so here just look at the terms like ruminating. Okay, ruminating mammals include like cattle, all domesticated and wild bovines, goats, sheep, giraffes, deer, gazelles, and antelopes. Here I have just attached certain animals, okay? These animals come under the category of ruminants. And here we need to understand why these animals are called as ruminants. Mostly these are like herbivores over here, right? So they take mostly like the plants, yes, the plants as well as the grasses. Yes, so they have a particular kind of substance in the grass, and that particular substance needs the different types of mode of digestion process. So that is the reason these animals fall under the category of ruminants. Okay, let us check in detail about why these animals are called as ruminants. Ruminants. So here the grass-eating animals quickly swallow the grass and then store it in a part of the stomach called as rumen. Here the best example, we have just taken a cattle, that is a cow. Okay, so when the cow grazes the grass, it just eats in, okay, and then it will not immediately chew everything and send everything. It will just swallow it as it bites the grass, okay, as it just grazes it, it will just swallow it and then it will send inside, and it will just get stored up in this particular region which is called as rumen. Okay, now you should have come to a conclusion why these animals are called as rumen. Okay, so this is the rumen over here. This partially digested food is called as cut. So they are not properly chewing it over here, they are just swallowing it, and it is stored up over here, and that particular partially swallowed food is called as cud. Okay, what it is called? It is called as cud. And then what happens after some time? The cud is returned back to the mouth. Okay, and then the animal will chew all these lumps for a while, and this process of chewing the cud, taking it from the rumen, okay, is called as rumination. Okay, and these animals which are involved in this particular process are called as ruminants. Now you should have understood why these are called as ruminants. You might have seen some cow or some other these kind of ruminants like goat, which we can see in common. I'm just giving an example. Okay, they will sit and they will just chew the mouth. Okay, have you ever seen that particular activity of these animals? Yes, wherever you can see the cow or buffaloes or any ruminants, they will sit for a while, but there will be nothing in and around them. Okay, they will be just chewing them out. Yes, so what happens? This is a process exactly. They have already grazed the grasses or whatever the items that they are eating, like plant related things, and it will be swallowed. It will be there in the rumen, and then they will come to a particular place. They will sit and they will bring the cut back to the mouth, and then they will just try to chew it. Okay, so this is a process happens in the ruminants, and this process is called as rumination. All right, here let us learn about these ruminants in detail. Okay, so here these ruminants, I'll just take up the same picture as an example which is more elaborative. These ruminants have a special stomach with four chambers, namely, like, just follow here, like rumen, which is numbered, rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Okay, it is like four different parts inside the digestive tract, like four different rooms, which performs the different functions. Okay, and then the grass which is taken in when the cow just grazes a grass, it just swallows it, and then it is immediately taken in and it is stored in this particular rumen, as I said initially. Yes, so why it is stored in this rumen? Because here some kind of bacteria are produced which helps in digesting the cellulose, which is the hardest part to get digested. It is not that easy because we human beings also doesn't have that particular part to digest the cellulose. Okay, so here, as it is a major part of the food, whatever they eat contains cellulose, they will have to have this kind of system in order to digest it easily. So that is the reason the food that they chew, that they take in, it's taken inside this rumen, and the bacteria and other microorganism protozoans present here helps in digestion process. And then once after that particular process is over, the food is taken back into the reticulum. Okay, from this part is called as a reticulum. Okay, and from the reticulum it is taken to the mouth for chewing process. Okay, and this is how the cud, this part, the first part here, once it is stored, is called as in a cud. The cud is taken back to the reticulum, and from the reticulum you can just follow this red arrow mark where it comes back to the mouth, and then they will chew it for some time, and then once the food is mashed completely, it will be just taken back into this particular region which is called as omasum. Okay, and this particular region is called as what? Omasum. So here in omasum, what happens? This is the third and the smallest chamber of the stomach, and that absorbs the excess water over there. Got it? And here the food is broken down even in very smaller pieces over here in this particular part. And then once after this particular process gets over in omasum, the food particles travels inside the abomasum. This abomasum is also called as a true stomach. All right, so why it is called as like true stomach? Because here the main gastric juices are secreted inside this. Okay, so this helps in the digestion process. Many gastric juices and also many enzymes along with acids and enzymes is also secreted to complete the digestion process. Okay, in human beings, you might have seen, yes, that particular video I have explained everything how the digestion happens inside the stomach. Many gastric juices like pepsin, renin, all these gastric juices are secreted along with the hydrochloric acid, helps in churning the food particles inside the stomach, and most of the digestion gets over inside the stomach, and then it moves on to the smaller intestine. It's the same way here in the true stomach. The gastric juices help in the digestion process, and then it is taken to where? It is taken to the large intestine. Can you see this bigger tube structures? Okay, this is the intestine, and this is not a large intestine, it's a small intestine. Okay, it is taken into the intestine, and then once after it reaches the intestine, what happens? You should remember the things explained in that video, right? So the villi which is present in the intestinal wall absorbs the nutrition and it just assimilates to all part of the body. See, now you can understand, right? Like ingestion, and then here the digestion process is happening, and here in the small intestine the absorption of the nutritive substance happens, and then from there with the help of the minute particles like villi, it just assimilates to the different part of the body through the blood vessels, and then the remaining part which is there, it will be excreted. Okay, it will be taken to the large intestine where some small kind of absorption happens like water and other minerals, and then it is taken out. Okay, and that particular content is called as fecus. Already eliminated in the form of fecus. Can you understand this ruminants and its digestion process? So far, we were just looking about the multicellular structure, yes, like human being and animals, how the digestion process happens. Okay, they have a specific mouth, organs for digestion, and everything. But here we're gonna just look about amoeba. Amoeba is nothing but a single cell organism. It is a unicellular and it cannot be viewed with the help of our naked eyes. We need a microscope to view it. So, this organism, let us see how the digestion happens in this organism. Okay, so here is the structure of the amoeba I have attached for you to look. See how the amoeba is. Does it have any specific structure? No, doesn't have any specific structure at all. It will just change its shape over here. Okay, and there are many organelles present inside the amoeba. So here, as I told you, amoeba is a single cell microorganism. It is found in pond. Okay, pond water. All right. It is origination. It's in pond water and it has a cell membrane around its nucleus and many small bubble-like structure called vacuoles in cytoplasm. So here you can just see this is a cell wall. It has because the contents present inside it should not be moving here and there. So it need a protection. So that is the reason a cell membrane is present. Actually, it is not like a cell wall. It is like cell membrane. We have to say it. All right. Only the plant cells will have cell wall. So this membrane is permeable. All right. So here what happens, this membrane is protecting all the parts that is present inside the amoeba. And this particular region, this bluish green structure where everywhere it is spreaded, where all the organelles are embedded on it, these organelles are on top of it. Okay, it's embedded on it, and this is called as a cytoplasm. This cytoplasm helps in these particles for its movement inside. Okay, and to form and to just maintain its structure between this cell membrane and the nucleus. And this amoeba constantly changes its shape and position, so that is the reason doesn't have any particular structure. See, a random structure, sometimes it will be round and sometimes it will be just in W in shape or V in shape or any circle. It doesn't have a specific shape at all. And you know why it doesn't have a specific shape? Because it has an important job with regard to that. Okay, so here this finger like projections, these each finger like projections which is protruding like this is called as pseudopodia. Okay, it is called as pseudopodia. Here I have mentioned. Okay, pseudopod they have given here, and it is like pseudopodia. It is also called as false feet. Okay, it will just change immediately. Now you can see the pseudopodia, and after some time it will just change its shape. Okay, here I just attached a small movement how exactly the amoeba takes in the food particles inside. We will just discuss in the next slide over here. See here, this false feet, okay, this particular false feet just moves and grabs a food particle, and then the food particle it is getting digested inside this food vacuole. See, these are the food vacuoles. So if there is going to be any food particles present here, it will just engulf and it will close it, and then the food particles will get into this food vacuoles and the digestion process will happen inside this. Okay, absorption, and then it will assimilate to all parts of its body, I mean like cell. Okay, now let us discuss about the digestion process in amoeba. So nutrition in amoeba, look at this picture, it will give you a clear information on it. Amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. Okay, so in the previous slide we did see about the movement of the amoeba. It was just trying to engulf the organism that is present near it with the help of the false feet, which is called as pseudopodia. Yes, so here for example this is the food substance present here. Okay, that will be also a microorganism because this animal by itself a unicellular organism. So here it will just get near the food, and then it will just try to extend the false feet, which is called as pseudopodia. That is the reason it doesn't have a specific structure. We have mouth and they have this pseudopodial structure, and then the food will get inside it, and then it will just close it over here. Can you see here? It will just close it. The food particle is now there inside, and that forms as a food vacuole over here. Okay, and this what happens now, it is inside the food vacuole. Inside the food vacuole, the entire process of the digestion will happen, and then the absorption is happening over here. It is absorbing the food particles slowly. Yes, you can see this color change they have given for this, but it is not like a color change. In order for you to get easily understandable, it's given like this. Okay, it will just get digested, absorbed, and then it will be assimilated. That's it. Now there is no food particle seen here, right? It will be assimilated to different parts of the body, and the particles which are not digested, okay, it will be formed in the form of like a smaller tablets. Okay, and then it will be ejected. out. All right. So undigested residue is expelled outside from the vacuoles. So as I told you here, this particular part, that where the food particles is assimilated, it is helping the amoeba for its growth, repair, and reproduction process. Yes, every animal will have the reproduction, only then it will be generating its younger ones. Yes, so that is how they live. So this is how the nutrition in amoeba is well explained. So even here, the holozoic mode of nutrition is followed. Can you see that? Ingestion is there, ingestion is there. Okay, and then the digestion process is happening over here in the stage 2. And then what happens in stage 3? The absorption is happening. It is assimilating to all parts of the body. The remaining parts which cannot be taken in, it is expelled out from this food vacuole where the pseudopodia opens. Okay, and this is how the digestion in amoeba takes place. So here, coming to the last part of the lesson, we will just have a short recap of whatever we have learned over here. Okay, so here we did discuss about the stages of nutrition, which we called it as holozoic nutrition, where we discussed about 5 different processes in it, like ingestion, yes, and then digestion, absorption, assimilation, and addition. 5 different steps we discussed about in different organisms. And then arrangements of the teeth is a process of the first step in ingestion. How many teeth are there? Okay, totally 32 in numbers, out of which each different shapes and the functions of different teeth we have seen, different tooth we have seen. And then we did see about the tongue, the regions of the tongue for the different taste, how the sour, bitter, sweet, salty, everything is differentiated over there. Yes, and then we detailedly discussed about the human digestive system. Yes, in that I have explained how the ingestion happens, how the secretory enzymes like saliva acts with the enzymes as well as the digestive enzymes helps in the digestion process, and how it is moved on to the different parts from the esophagus, from the mouth to the esophagus, and then to the stomach, and then to the small intestine, and then to the large intestine, and then how it is ejected from the rectum and through anus. Yes, in between we also did see many other secondary digestive organs which is helping in the digestive process. Okay, yes, like which like gallbladder. Yes, so many enzymes, pancreas will be secreted, and how it was important. And then digestion in grass eating animals we did discussed about, like a cow which was taken as an example, and those things are called as, those animals are called as ruminants. Okay, because the rumen is the main part which is helping, and that is a very specific thing seen in this particular animals. And then we also discussed about the feeding and digestion process in amoeba, which is an unicellular organism, doesn't have any specific part and doesn't have any shape. It does has only the pseudopodia and the cell structure inside the organelles, the nucleus, and food vacuoles. Yes, and this is how they are surviving. All right, and even in amoeba, we did discuss about the holozoic mode of nutrition. All right, so hopefully you should have understood the lesson in detail, and it's very interesting as well. Okay, and if you have any doubt with regard to this lesson, please do call me or ping me so that I'll be able to help you in this. All right, please watch the video in full, and I will send you the notes relevant for this lesson. Okay, thank you, children.